Hello, it's so exciting to see you again in this week's lineup of exciting lifestyle and entertainment news here on Culture Mosaic. This week's edition will be filled up with diverse cultural stories as we are living the atmosphere of the Mid-Autumn Festival, one of the biggest festivals in Vietnam. In this week's Culture and Lifestyle, we'll learn about Vietnam's traditional lanterns, a very popular feature in this traditional festival. Moving on to music, join us to learn more about the Sun Symphony Orchestra and the desire to uplift Vietnam's classical music scene. And lastly, do you know that the iconography of Quan Yin, the god of compassion, kindness and love, have played a significant role in the religious belief of Vietnamese people? Let's learn more about the evolution of the iconography of this god in Asia and how it's localized in Vietnam in our Connecting Cultures. On this week's Culture and Lifestyle, we'll learn about Vietnam's traditional lantern, Sun Symphony Orchestra and the desire to uplift Vietnam's classical music scene. Let's learn more about the iconography of Quan Yin and how it's localized in Vietnam. We now start with some local news. The U.S. cable news network CNN will continue to introduce Hanoi's cultural and historical values and other Vietnamese destinations in the 2019-2024 period. The Formula Race 1 or F1 will be a highlight in the 2020 promotion plan to attract more tourists to the city. The channel will produce 30-second clips introducing the F1 race and the 2021 Southeast Asian Games. Dozens of 60-second clips, a series of 30-minute special television programs, and articles including Hanoi Three Generations and Hanoi Future City. The 2019 Thành Tuyên Festival and the National Intangible Cultural Heritage Festival kicked off on September the 11th and will last until September the 14th. For many years, Thành Tuyên Festival, held on the occasion of the Mid-Autumn Festival, has been an indispensable spiritual part of people's lives in Tuyên Quang Province. Since the beginning of the 8th lunar month, a festive atmosphere has been in the air. Dozens of large mid-autumn lanterns have been completed to be carried in the procession around the Tuyên Quang city. On the occasion, thousands of people have flocked to the main streets of Tuyên Quang city to see and join in the parade. This year, Tuyên Quang Province will celebrate the National Intangible Cultural Heritage Festival with a series of activities to promote the province's traditional culture and tourism. To celebrate the Mid-Autumn Festival, High Five Hanoi Club organized Full Moon Night 2019 in Thượng Yên, Phú Yên Commune, Phú Xuyên District. The event attracted nearly 100 participants, including foreign visitors and students from Hanoi. The event featured game stalls decorated in a traditional style that brought participants back to their childhood. Attendees were immersed in the traditional Mid-Autumn Festival atmosphere. For many young Vietnamese, this is the most anticipated part of the Mid-Autumn Festival. For international visitors, it's an entirely new experience. Events like these bring Vietnamese culture closer to the rest of the world. With the Mid-Autumn Festival happening, the streets of Vietnam are filled with a festive atmosphere. In Bao Đáp Village, Nam Định Province, craftspeople have been busy making star-shaped lanterns to deliver to stores. Despite the preference for modern toys over traditional ones, the village's residents have continued to practice their tradition of making star-shaped lanterns, not only for children but also for adults. There are several families who manufacture star-shaped lanterns on a large scale, producing 10,000 to 30,000 units each year. The Vietnam Festa was held in Yokohama City in the Japanese prefecture of Kanagawa on September the 7th to the 8th. Themed Let's Find a New Vietnam, the event introduced Vietnam's unique culture and traditional cuisine to Japanese and foreign visitors. This year's Vietnam Festa in Kanagawa featured nearly 70 pavilions, including booths that promoted the culture and food of Vietnam and sold goods and fine art products. Attendees got the chance to enjoy traditional Vietnamese dishes and art performances such as water puppet shows and music shows. The festival was first held in 2015 and since then has become an annual cultural activity in Kanagawa. The 2019 VTV Awards took place on the evening of September the 7th at Vietnam Television in Hanoi and was broadcast live on VTV1. The award ceremony delighted fans. 10 trophies were given to the network's most deserving individuals and programs. On its 6th year, the VTV Awards has become a highly anticipated awards show for viewers. Vietnam has entered 5 features, 2 short films and 3 projects into the Busan International Film Festival, or BIFF, which will be held in October. 4 films will be chosen for the Window on Asian Cinema category, the category for the latest and most talked about films by directors in Asia. The film included are Thương Mẹ Con Đi or Goodbye Mother, Anh Trai Yêu Quái, My Annoying Brother, Bắc Kim Thang, Home Sweet Home, and Bí Mật của Gió, Secret of the Wind. The Busan International Film Festival will take place from October the 3rd to the 12th. The Spring-Summer 2020 collection of fashion designer Gong Chi was launched at this year's New York Fashion Week. With his new collection, designer Gong Chi favored deep cuts and maximized femininity in his designs. After the success of his Fall-Winter 2019 show, Vietnamese fashion enthusiasts are eager to see the new collections of Vietnamese designers on world-famous catwalks. In this week's Culture and Lifestyle, we'll learn about Vietnam's traditional lanterns. This lamp is called a rabbit lantern because it mimics the shape of a rabbit. And this lantern is called đèn cù or humming top lantern because its motion is similar to the movement of a humming top. It's easy to learn about the structure of these lamps. It's made with wood, bamboo, and glazed paper. But there is something hidden behind the lantern that if you do not look closely, you might not guess. Do you want to know what that is? Let's find out.
What shape do you choose to describe happiness?
Tôi làm xong một cái đèn này tôi vô cùng hạnh phúc.
Ngày xưa cứ đến rằm Trung thu này là ai gọi là nhà khá giả mới được cái đèn cù, quá hạnh phúc.
This is Do Văn Kỳ. If you don't ask the villagers, you might mistake Mr. Kỳ for a farmer, not a famous school lantern maker in Hanoi, because people always see him crouch on the field planting a special plant, the jute.
Không trồng thì không có nguyên liệu. Cái này là quan trọng nhất của cái đèn cù. Cái đây là gió to là cũng đổ, nên là bắt buộc mình khi thời tiết nghe thời tiết là gió bão là phải ra đóng cọc trăng các thứ.
As a lantern maker, why don't you just buy the jute instead of working hard to grow them yourself?
Xung quanh nhà không rồng nữa, phải mua nguyên liệu từ xa, vì nên làm những sản phẩm tính ra đắt, các cháu chơi vì đắt thêm, nên gia đình có tâm làm thì là tự trồng lấy để bán với giá hạ hơn.
Jute is soft and porous and is suitable for drilling holes to make rotating shaft for cool lanterns. The lightweight trunks of the jute help reduce the weight for the lantern, making it suitable for children to hold. Growing jute is not the only hard work involved in making lanterns. All year round, his family works hard to prepare and store enough materials to produce more than 3,000 lamps for the market.
Phải chuẩn bị nguyên liệu cả năm, làm chỉ trong 3 tháng, từ tháng 3 đã đi mua nứa, xong rồi về luộc uốn, xong phơi khô, sau bắt đầu là buộc hoàn chỉnh hết khung, sau đầu tháng 6 dán xong vẽ, vẽ cả thành phẩm lắp đi ra bán.
It is said that lantern making is elegant, but also a lot of hard work. The lantern makers are the earliest to welcome the Mid-Autumn Festival, but they are the last people to celebrate it.
Tụ tập các con ăn Tết Trung thu 16. Ngày 15 vẫn là các đơn đặt hàng đặt về vẫn phải làm phục vụ cho đến chống phách hết kêu rồi về. Tôi làm xong một cái đèn này tôi vô cùng hạnh phúc. Tuy đồng nó ít ỏi nhưng mà cái tâm của mình thích để cho các cháu chơi để phục vụ Trung thu thôi.
Cool lanterns are Key's happiness. A lantern maker's greatest desire is that their products reach many people and that the profession he has pursued for decades will not gradually fade away. There were times when traditional toys like Denku could not be seen on Hang Ma Street. Instead, there were more of the flashing of lights from electric lanterns. But in recent years, the trend has gradually changed and cool lanterns have gradually regained their foothold in one of Hanoi's busiest streets.
Tôi nhập đèn này nhà ông Kỳ ở dưới Thường Tín, đèn cù và đèn con thỏ. Bây giờ ít người làm lắm. Mỗi mình ông Giao ở khu vực này người ta giữ được cái nghề truyền thống, thế là rất tốt.
Some people come to Hang Ma Street to sell Mid-Autumn Festival toys. Some come to buy goods. But there are also people who come here to neither buy nor sell. They come here to relive their memories of Mid-Autumn Festival toys from their childhood dozens of years ago.
Bây giờ là toàn là điện tử, mình có thể đẩy cái công tắc lên là nó sáng. Chứ ngày xưa nó là bằng giấy bóng kính màu, nó rất là dễ cháy. Thế cho nên là khi nào mà có hiệu lệnh của cô phụ trách mới được chơi, rất là nâng niu, rất là sung sướng, quá hạnh phúc.
Many people walk by traditional lanterns without paying much attention. What they miss out is not a toy, but possibly a little dose of happiness.
In recent years, the classical music scene in Vietnam has been getting more and more lively thanks to the appearances of new orchestras and their efforts to renew themselves. Among the new players, the Sun Symphony Orchestra emerges as a big and dynamic one in the scene, consistently providing international quality performances to the audiences. In our On the Mic this week, we'll sit down and have a chat with the music director and principal conductor of the Sun Symphony Orchestra to learn more about their aspiration to bring classical music closer to the community without compromising their quality.
Bringing orchestras to the street, holding classical music concerts in church and other open settings, enticing the audience with popular film soundtracks. Indeed, for the past few years, the classical music scene in Vietnam has seen some exciting development in terms of attracting and engaging audiences. Among the new players, there is a relatively new orchestra that has been capturing the audience hearts right at the concert hall. Professional, energetic, emotionally engaging, and audience-conscious. Those are what concert-goers often say about their performances, and they are the Sun Symphony Orchestra.
So first of all, thank you, Olivier Ochanin, for joining our show today.
It's my pleasure to be here.
So it's been over a year since the Sun Symphony Orchestra's first concert. Looking back at the journey of the orchestra, how do you feel about the progress?
I'm very happy with what's been going on. In a relatively short time, we were able to do some really exciting concerts and to build excitement in Hanoi and Vietnam for what this kind of music can do for people. So we already have a very large following, even though we just started, and even though we're only now starting to sell tickets. So it's a good sign.
So since its establishment, the SSO has aspired to bring new standards to the Vietnamese cultural scene, but you also want to bring classical music closer to the community. So is there a clash between these two?
I don't see it as a clash because we do want to bring quality, but I don't think that bringing quality necessarily alienates people. We have different ways of doing this. So what we focus on is building our audiences and getting closer to them. And I think people who have been coming to our concerts have noticed that, and that's what keeps bringing them back. We talk to them about the music, what makes us excited about the music, and we feel the energy gets kind of translated into their experience, the energy from the musicians. We see that as kind of a circle of energy that we have with our audiences. And I think that's really an important way to break down the barriers that exist, because there are barriers. And it's true. Many people think that this kind of music is not for them. But I think with our outreach and our approach with our audiences, we've managed to show them that this kind of music is for everyone. It's just everybody gets a different kind of experience out of it.
On their way to strive for the international standard, the Sun Symphony Orchestra opened its door to music talents worldwide, boasting a multicultural working environment for musicians.
It's a wonderful opportunity to make great symphonic music with so many different people from different backgrounds. I love my colleagues very much. They're like family to me, living away so far from home.
Orchestra is very like family, so it's very easy to work with everyone. Music is international language, so there's no barrier at all for all of us to communicate. I really enjoy being with everyone here in the orchestra.
Việc làm việc với người nước ngoài ấy, thì có thể là mình thấy là có thể là khó khăn trong những cái chuyên ngành khác, nhưng mà chưa bao giờ là âm nhạc. Âm nhạc thì gắn kết với nhau rất là dễ, chủ yếu là do nhạc trưởng nữa. Nhạc trưởng là một người gắn kết được với tất cả mọi người với nhau.
So in addition to quality, the SSO also boasts a lineup of international musicians. So what are some of the difficulties to get all those people from different culture and backgrounds to work together as a unit?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, we got the right people. They're international, and you might wonder how can they all communicate with one another with different backgrounds and different languages and such, but we're musicians, and all musicians can communicate with one another even without the written, spoken language. I've worked with many orchestras where nobody spoke the same language, but we all understood each other, whether psychologically through music or physically through our emotions while performing. It's really a beautiful thing to see this. Sometimes you don't have to talk at all. We understand each other just because we all have the same mission.
What do you think of the Vietnamese musicians in your orchestra?
The Vietnamese musicians that we have, they showed a lot of promise. They come to work energized and excited, very dedicated and disciplined. It's amazing to see them, again, playing side by side with the foreigners and to see the camaraderie, the friendship. It's what makes me excited to go to work every day. We're lucky also in that some Vietnamese musicians have gone abroad to study in some really good schools and then come back to Vietnam to work with the Sun Symphony. And this is one of my top goals over the next 5, 10, 15 years, to bring back musicians who have gone abroad so that they don't disappear.
Who could have thought that the monochord could be paired so well with a full orchestra? But there actually exists a concerto written for monochord solo with orchestra.
Tiết mục hôm nay em biểu diễn là tác phẩm đối thoại của nhạc sĩ Đỗ Hồng Cung. Tác phẩm này thì được nhạc sĩ xây dựng ở trên các thang ngũ cung, kết hợp với các giai điệu dân gian truyền thống của Việt Nam, tạo ra một màu sắc vừa mới mẻ lại vừa quen thuộc.
Next, the atmosphere changed to a market fair in the ancient Oriental world with the Aladdin Suite by Danish composer Carl Nielsen, creating excitement among the audiences.
Thì hôm nay khi nhạc trưởng nói đến cái bản Aladdin này với cái 7 cái chương đó và thực sự khi mà nhắm mắt lại mình thấy đúng là âm nhạc có dội vào rồi lại đi ra dội vào và mình nghe thấy những cái bộ nhạc cụ khác nhau ấy, nó đúng là một cái phiên chợ đêm mà nó rất là hoạt náo, rất là vui, mình rất là thích.
Those exciting classical pieces were introduced at a concert in a string of educational concert series organized by the Sun Symphony Orchestra in collaboration with the Vietnam National Academy of Music.
Đây là lần đầu tiên em diễn với dàn nhạc giao hưởng trời và cũng là lần đầu tiên em diễn với dàn nhạc giao hưởng. Theo em nghĩ là những chương trình hòa nhạc giáo dục này có ý nghĩa rất là lớn. Bởi vì nó giúp cho các học sinh có cơ hội được làm việc và hợp tác với dàn nhạc cọ sát.
So in addition to regular concerts, the SSO also has a series of educational concerts. Can you share a little bit about that project?
It's something we're very proud of. We do our educational concerts right on this stage. It's a project that we do in partnership with the Vietnam National Academy of Music, which is where we are now. And I'm very proud of this because it hasn't been done before in Vietnam. And it's our way of featuring young soloists who otherwise might not have the chance to play, especially with such a good orchestra. And also we have an MC who talks about the music and gives a little bit background to the kids, talks to them, asks them questions. It's something that I hope we can develop even further as time goes on.
In which direction will you lead SSO in the future?
Well, we just are launching our first season officially, starting September 20 at the Opera House. Tickets are finally on sale. A lot of people have been wondering how can we see the Sun Symphony Orchestra, because for the first year we were invitation only. So we were finding people who, to come to the concerts, but a lot of people couldn't come even though they wanted to, just because they weren't able to get the invitations. So now finally it's available. They can find us on Ticketbox or find information about us on the sunsymphony.vn website. So I'm excited to see what this next year brings. Finally, everybody can come and see it. I think it's going to be a really interesting year for SSO and for Hanoi.
So again, thank you so much for joining our show today, and we wish that you and the Sun Symphony Orchestra will achieve much success in the future.
Thanks for your interest in the Sun Symphony and for being here. Thank you.
The name of Kuan Yin is a short form of Quan Shi Yin, meaning observing the sounds and cries of the human world. Kuan Yin is depicted as the god of compassion, kindness, and love. Originated from Buddhism, the iconography of Kuan Yin has been introduced in many countries. Yet in each country, the image of Kuan Yin has been changed and depicted as many different images bearing localized attributes. To Vietnam, having undergone ups and downs in the history, the iconography of Kuan Yin has been localized with typical Vietnamese cultures. We are going to discover more in our Connecting Cultures this week.
Goddess of mercy, compassion can bring each community together, bring each individual together. She can respond quickly, promptly to the request, to the wish of the believer.
The Guan Yin will help us unconditional love.
Guan Yin not only saves our lives, but also relieves the suffering of the mind. When we were little, there was a saying that went, every household worship Amitabha Buddha and prays to Guan Yin. It means that each household worshipped Guan Yin, like my mother who always prayed to Guan Yin.
These are people's views of the iconography of Guan Yin in people's beliefs. So when was the first image of Guan Yin recorded?
Actually, the Ayanta caves are very, very famous Buddhist caves. And you can see on the wall is a painting of Guan Yin holding a lotus flower.
Through the passing of hundreds of years, the iconography of Guan Yin has changed and transformed into many images and even genders all over the world.
By the 10th century, Guan Yin became very feminine, so they called Guan Yin, the feminine Guan Yin, goddess of mercy.
Tượng Quan Âm là một cái hình tượng rất là gần gũi và bình dị với cả người dân, và ở đấy người ta có thể tìm thấy là cái hình tượng của người mẹ này, những người mẹ Việt và những cái tình cảm giữa mẹ con. Ví dụ như là có thể thấy là cái hình tượng Quan Âm thị kính rất là đa dạng.
In Vietnam, the goddess iconography of Quan Yin has become popular. That is Quan Yin Thị Kính. She was a nun with the Buddhist name Thị Kính, who disguised herself as a monk. A woman named Thị Mâu visited the pagoda and fell in love with Thị Kính. Thị Mâu was pregnant and gave birth to a boy and said that Thị Kính was the real father of her son. Thị Kính nurtured the baby until she passed away. Due to Thị Kíng's sacrifice and compassion, she became Thị Kính Quan Yin, or the goddess of mercy, Thị Kính. This is a folk story that was adapted into a Cheo play, and the image of Thị Kính Quan Yin became beloved by Vietnamese people.
After coming to Vietnam, I just knew there was a Quan Yin Thị Kính in Vietnam. Quan Yin Thị Kính is introduced by Vietnamese scholars. She is a popular representation in Vietnam.
Thị Kính gọi tên và đích thân cái tên đó, tự nó nói lên đó là một người phụ nữ mang tính nữ thần này. Nhưng chính cái tên gọi Thị Kính lại làm cho người Việt gần gũi hơn, mến chuộng và ưa thích.
Professor Lin Chung-yi is one of the 45 international scholars who have come to Vietnam to join the conference on Quan Yin and goddess worship in Asia. After arriving at Bút Tháp Temple in Thuận Thành, Bắc Ninh Province, Professor Lin Chung-yi was impressed by what he saw. He had the opportunity to see the statues of Quan Yin of the Southern Sea, with his 1,000 arms and eyes, and is described as a sculptural masterpiece of Vietnam from the 17th century.
Oh, it's beautiful. You are lucky to have this kind of prototype. It represents fully about the spirit of the goddess of mercies.
Trong các cái truyền thuyết có Long Vương Obanada đã tình nguyện đội sóng và ngậm viên ngọc quý, và đồng thời là đội cái đài sen cho Quan Âm để Quan Âm vượt biển và cứu giúp chúng sinh. Thế nhưng mà hầu hết là các cái tác phẩm điêu khắc của tìm thấy ở Nhật Bản hay là Triều Tiên hay là những cái nước mà có cận biển ấy, thì lại không nhìn thấy cái hình tượng mà của con rồng đội và sen, mà lại ở trong cái nghệ thuật Phật giáo Việt Nam lại có xuất hiện cái hình tượng đó, đạt đến một cái tiêu chuẩn tạo hình rất là chuẩn mực ấy. Hình tượng Quan Âm này có được xuất hiện dưới nhiều cái hình tướng khác nhau.
Despite the many images of Quan Yin, the iconography of Quan Yin in domestic and foreign cultures has shared feature. Quan Yin always represents compassion, kindness, love, and brings individuals and cultures together.
And that is the end of our program. If you'd like to provide feedback or comment on anything here on Culture Mosaic, please feel free to write us at vtvinternational@vtv.vn. You can also log on to vtv4.vtv.vn or youtube.com/vtv4go for more of our program. Don't forget to join us next week for another episode of Culture Mosaic. Goodbye for now.